Welcome back to talknorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. talknorth.com is powered by Bite Squad. Go to bitesquad.com or download their app. Get food to your door in minutes. Use the promo code TALKNORTH to get your first delivery free. Talk North gets you your first delivery free.
Yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in.
We have a lot to talk about on this week's Roy Smalley's Chin Music, our baseball show on talknorth.com. We got to start with the photo. Explain the photo that I saw on Twitter of you with one leg up, toasting, and your partner. I mean, I'm just going to let you handle it.
Well, God, I hadn't thought about that picture measured in decades, and that's a picture. And for our listeners who don't know, I mean, you need to go on, follow me on Twitter, go on and look at this picture. It's a picture of Rob Wilfong and me at Tinker Field in Orlando. And
luxurious Tinker Field.
Tinker Field. And the backstory here is so convoluted, I almost don't know where to start. But the picture is of the two of us on either side of a little, we set this whole thing up with the team photographer down in Orlando. And the story is, why in the world would we do this? But first of all, the picture is of we found a little round table and a white tablecloth, and we got a vase of roses and put that on the table, and in front of, and then we have a bottle of wine in a little chiller, and we have one leg up each on the table. We're sitting back in folding chairs, and my left leg up, I was on the right side of the table, and his right leg up from the left side of the table, and we're toasting basically each other. So Rob Wilfong, for those of you who don't know, was a second baseman for many years with the Twins and the Angels, and he was a good player, and we were a good double play combination. We made a boatload of double plays together, and really liked each other. He was one of my best friends in the game for a long time, and so at the time, it was Rob Wilfong and a young outfielder named Rick Sofield. You remember the Soph, and myself. And we got to be really good friends. And Sofield was a cocky Jersey kid, real good-looking guy. And I dressed fairly well. And so he came to the big leagues, and he started doing that. And we got to be friends. And it really bugged a couple of guys on the team. For whatever reason, we would hang out together, and we'd run sprints together, do different things, and just because we were friends, and for whatever reason, it bothered the hell out of Butch Weiniger and Glenn Adams,
That's so funny.
who were also, they were kind of friends, and I don't know that. So we kind of got wind of the fact that they were scorning the fact that we hung out a lot together, and so we started just really pouring it on. So whenever we were, we developed a little deal where we put our fists together and kind of go buddies, and like in front of them, like we
taunting them.
We just taunted the hell out.
That was your end zone celebration.
We just taunted the hell out of the fact that for some reason, I don't know why it bothered them, but it bothered them. And then they started getting on us about the way I dressed and the fact that we liked wine. We did some wine stuff, and they were beer drinkers, and so it was terrible of us, to evidently to like doing different wine and
so pretentious, Roy. To drink one kind of alcohol instead of another.
And so anyway, it was just the whole deal that just made it. And the more they kind of scorned us for, of course, the worse we got in terms of rubbing it in that we didn't want to associate with anybody else except each other. I mean, it was all tongue in cheek, obviously. But so this spring training, we decided it got kind of intense in terms of the scoring back and forth. So Fong and I said, got an idea. Actually, it was my crazy ass idea, but so we set up this picture and took the picture, and then, as I recall, we had some copies made and gave it to Butch and Glenn and a couple other guys just so they could put it up in their locker and see a couple of wine drinking buddies out there.
That's awesome.
On the field.
What I love, I'll tell you what I love about stories like that in a second. Do need to do my introductions. Again, this is Roy Smalley's Chin Music. You can follow Roy Smalley at Roy Smalley #5. Roy Smalley #5. Baseball Insights. Links to these podcasts, whatever else. I highly recommend you do that. And thanks to our sponsors, berrycoffee.com, Tony Hoagland, your State Farm agent in Champlin, Hoaglund, and WhizKids.tech, WHIZKIDS.tech, your Minneapolis technology company and technology ally. Thanks to Brandon Morton, our producer. Please download before you listen. Better listening experience is better for us. If you'd like to sponsor this program or any others across the network, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. We had 140,000 listens across the network last month, so it's a great outlet for your advertising dollars. And, of course, you can subscribe at iTunes, comment at iTunes, subscribe to your favorite podcast app, whatever you like. Any quick thoughts on Berry Coffee before I tell you why I like your story so much?
I don't have any new thoughts. I mean, I think we've done a fairly thorough job of talking about Berry Coffee. But I'm going to see Steve this weekend. We're going to watch a Viking game together.
Oh,
so
cool.
It'll be my first trip to the big Death Star looking place, and I understand it's pretty cool.
It actually is, and I think it's the best football stadium I've ever been in.
That's cool. Well,
the way it lets the natural light in, it's very well designed. It's very comfortable. The corridors probably could have been a little bit wider, especially in the upper levels. That's about the only negative I can find. But the way it lets natural light in the winter just makes it a really great experience to be in there. It's a beautiful place.
I can't
it really
wait.
Is. And I do want to thank Berry Coffee being the primary sponsor of the program, berrycoffee.com. And we've told you about so many of the different products. I also want to tell you can get, whether you're a business or an individual, you can buy coffee brewing and tea brewing equipment from them. Gemini single serve coffee brewer, Curtis Airpot Systems, double airpot brewer, Curtis Thermo Pro Single. You get the idea. Go to berrycoffee.com. You can find all their products, all their equipment, their micro markets. Steve's thoughts. Steve Brem runs the company. He has his thoughts on there. Obviously, they'll have a way you can contact them if you'd like to work with them, or you can call them at 952-937-8697. A very green, very socially conscious Minneapolis company that has done very well and has been a great supporter of ours. Also, a reminder, if you want to order food locally for the football game or any of the baseball games this weekend, go to bitesquad.com, use the promo code TALKNORTH, one word, TALKNORTH, get your first delivery free. What did you make of the Miguel Sano news?
Well, I guess disappointment was my biggest sense about it. I guess, and you may know more about that. I obviously don't know anything about it other than what I read in your paper, and there were two different mentions. The first day was it sounded like an officer had the temerity to stop him and not at a checkpoint and
hey, no cop should go around. You got to understand, you can't just stop any Fort Myers Miracle player. Okay, that was cheap.
And he ran over his foot, deciding or leg or whatever, decided he didn't need to stop. Then the next day was that's not exactly what happened. It was all fine. It was an accident. He didn't mean to do it. The cop, was fine with it. But you never know exactly what comes out of the Dominican Republic in terms of what's true or not. Maybe you know more about that than I do.
I think that let me put it this way: if you or I, Roy, when we were that age or younger, came home and told our fathers, "Oh, by the way, I was leaving a bar at 3 a.m. and I drove over a cop's foot and broke it." Don't you think they'd be able to fill in the blanks? Don't you think they'd kind of figure out what happened? You might have some good excuses. You might have some good lines. You might have an alibi. You might have a witness who sides with you. But what do you think your father would say?
Before or after the 6 months I'd have been without the car.
Yeah, before and after, I would say. So listen, I don't think we need much imagination. To me, even if you want to forgive him for running over a cop, the fact that he's out drinking at 3 a.m. when this is supposed to be the off season that kind of determines his future is a little disappointing to me.
Yeah, it's just another. I mean, if the story really is about the fact that nobody in the Dominican is going to stand in the way of Miguel Sano being a superstar player, even the cops in this case, and he did something untoward. I mean, it's disappointing. The whole thing obviously is disappointing, and I'm less concerned about every once in a while being out till 3 a.m. as I am just continue not to make the best decisions, and it's just not a good trend.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. If another player was out drinking at 3 a.m., I don't think we'd be blinking about it. But it fits the profile a little too snugly in this case. Let's talk about the potential manager. First, let me thank Tony Hoagland, your State Farm agent, Champlin, Hoaglund. He handles my insurance as well as Michael Russo's insurance on the network.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoagland. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
So I don't know who they're going to hire as the next manager, but my conversations lead me in one of two directions. One would be a experienced bilingual major league coach who can really connect with Latin American players, including Sano, who can kind of fall into the mode of Alex Cora, who's had great success. And Hensley Mullins was in town interviewing. I think that Joe Espada from the Astros, who's very close with Cora and has been around a very analytically driven and highly successful Astros organization. He makes a lot of sense to me. I think the other kind of candidate who's going to emerge is the Aaron Boone model, which is somebody who's coming fresh from outside a clubhouse, who was a player but not a coach, and who might bring a fresh perspective / might be completely willing to let the front office tell him what to do every time. So that's my view. Do you have any feedback on those thoughts or the kind of manager you'd like to see?
The kind of manager I'd like to see is the guy that just left, basically. Right. But that not being the case, I don't mind. I guess I don't mind either role. I like the idea of someone who can connect with the Hispanic players really well, because it's going to be key for the Twins. I mean, I don't think there's any question that Sano and Eddie Rosario, and there will be others, are going to be important, very important to the overall long-term success. So that makes a lot of sense to me. I don't think any of us know for sure what the outcome would be with a totally analytics-driven model as a front office / manager combo. I just don't even know how to think about that. I'm too old school to know. I mean, I really like the analytics that are being done. The analytics themselves make an awful lot of sense to me. But to go completely to the manager is basically a guy that just it keeps everybody on the right note in the clubhouse, and the lineups and the moves come down from above. It is just so contrary to everything that I believe about playing the game during the course of a game. And I liked the idea of analytics being a big part, if not even a major part of a lot personnel decisions and lineups and all those kinds of things. But I really believe that a manager needs to be able to, the kind of manager you want can incorporate that plus his eye test, plus his gut about and how a certain player or pitcher is doing at the moment on a given day. I mean, I just take that away from, and again,